If it's Halloween, you know what time it is. Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. I'm your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek, joined by our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli, for our annual October tradition of doing another Saw movie commentary. And tonight, it is Saw 6. So, right now, we are watching this on Peacock. I'm not sure what it will be streaming on by the time you guys are watching this with us. But to get sunk up with us, we are currently paused at the about 19-second mark. Lionsgate is fully up on the screen with the red, cloudy background. So while you get there, let's introduce Ronnie Cycli, our legal counsel. Ronnie, we've done all the Saw movies together. Here we are to Saw 6, and this one is sort of a hybrid movie, right? It's the continuation of the Jigsaw legacy, and then also fuck insurance companies, right?
Which I think everyone can get on board with, right? This is relatable.
Who is more predatory, Jigsaw or insurance companies?
I think in terms of the financial impact and death rate, I think the insurance companies are the biggest villain ever to be introduced into the Saw franchise.
Yeah, at least Jigsaw's not like taking monthly premiums from people.
Yeah, Jigsaw is who he is. Insurance is supposed to be helping you. Like Jigsaw, well, actually, that's completely wrong. Jigsaw does claim to help people. Fuck. We just really figured something out immediately.
All right, it's okay. I'll edit that out. We'll be good. All right, again, we're at the 19-second mark. Lionsgate fully up on the screen. Let's press play and watch Saw 6 together in 3, 2, 1, play.
You might be asking yourself, wow, guys, you're really doing a sixth commentary on the Saw movies. Well, what are we supposed to do, Horns? They just keep bringing them out. We have no choice.
They keep fucking making them, and we're definite Saw heads here on the pod.
I mean, we're not even close to being done.
That's the crazy thing. We're really not. Now, we've talked about this, I think, with pretty much everyone that we've done to lead them off. Where do these movies rank for you in the franchise? I think Saw 6, and again, it's been several years since I've rewatched it, second to last behind Saw 3D for me.
Are we including the new Saw, like
Spiral?
Not just Spiral, but the one before Spiral,
Yeah.
which was called Jigsaw?
I guess we'll say no, because I really didn't like Jigsaw, but it might be ahead of this one.
I think it's, if you're only including the original 7, I think 3D is by far the worst. I don't think it's close.
Sans like one cool part at the end, which I won't spoil if anyone.
Yeah. So if you recall, if you're a listener to our, if you're horror heads like us, and even following around the Saw franchise, because we are huge fans. On the last commentary, Saw 5, I admitted that Saw 5 held up much better than the original theatrical watch. So I'm excited to see how we feel about this one.
So, one of my Horns fun facts, this young lady, her name is Tanedra Howard, and she was actually cast in this movie as a result of being the winner of the 2008 VH1 reality show Scream Queens, wherein I don't know what exactly the reality show consisted of, but whoever won was going to get a bit part in the upcoming Saw movie.
That is so cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I would love, depending on what it entails, I would absolutely love to sign.
I kind of want to go back and rewatch it just because I'm sort of wondering what they would even have them do. Obviously, there's like some acting stuff you could do, but I'm sure a lot of it was like games, like maybe some Fear Factor stuff or like similar to Jigsaw traps, but obviously ones that wouldn't kill you. Or would.
Or would. That's the point of the game. I always thought, so, every Saw movie we talk about the opening, right? Like what we get in terms of this trap, and it's supposed to set the tone of the movie. What is your opinion on this specific trap here? Do you remember what this is?
Way down the scale more.
Yeah, they basically whoever puts down more flesh survives.
How much time do they have here? I missed Jigsaw.
A minute, I think.
Sadly, what my solution has ended up being to a lot of these is defecating. So like urinating. Obviously, you can't take a shit.
I just want to see you poop under pressure, man. Like, do you really think you could?
I'm not even gonna try to act like I can.
I would love to be in this scenario with you in real life. You're like, guys, what if we just shit on the scale? I'm like, all right, can you do that? You're like, no.
They might not have shoes, but like take your shirts and clothes off and stuff. He's going to cut his dick off because that's at least 1/10 of an ounce.
I think I know this sounds. You can easily rate saw traps on from its easy to hard scale, and maybe that's something we can do sometime. We can like compare them and rate our favorite traps or hardest traps.
Yeah.
I actually think this is a really easy one, theoretically speaking. I'm not saying anything is easy in this kind of world, but honestly, dude, I would just take the axe as fast as possible, chop off my left arm at the elbow. And I think that's what she ends up doing. But I think you know, like, I just don't think that's as,
Oh,
oh,
oh, God.
I mean, that's one way to
Starting
lose
right
your
off
belly
of it.
fat. I just think I think that is probably the easiest. Look, you can survive and live a normal life without your dominant hand.
Yeah. Like if I crumpled up my jeans and my shirt and put it in there, do you think it would weigh as much as, was that like his part of his kidney that he just put in there?
Yeah, I don't even, oh God, stop, dude. Just cutting his belly fat off?
An unfair advantage that he's so fat.
Yeah, see, I'm just saying, like, your arm's going to weigh more than all of that. You're
Yeah.
talking about it has bone. I mean, she's making the right move. I would just got to do it fast.
That's kind of one of the legendary Saw aesthetics, like the camera that like does like flashes real quick. Eef.
I think what he's doing is much more painful. I'm not saying she's not going through pain, but like, God.
Did Jigsaw explain why they're here? Because he said it's all your fault, the gentleman.
I don't think so. I mean, I think so, but like, I wasn't paying attention to that part.
Mondays, right?
Yeah, I think Arm's gonna win all day over just belly fat,
so
man.
Too. Oh yeah, by a lot.
He went through all that pain for nothing. See, and again, this whole thing goes back to, I mean, because it's not Jigsaw anymore, right? We're dealing with
it's Hoffman, who's
psycho.
Who's worse in terms of like just being a lunatic, Hoffman or Amanda?
Oof. I think Hoffman is more successful at it. I think Amanda's wants to believe she's good.
I guess at least Amanda like reveres John. Hoffman just sort of resents him. He's like, well, fuck, you caught me. I'll help you.
Yeah, to me, you know, the whole thing, Jigsaw's never killed anyone. He gives people a choice. In these scenarios, the Hoffman world, one person dies no matter what, right? Like, so that's not the point. Like, oh God, I forgot about Saw 5 ends.
What a gory beginning. So now the other detective, what's his fucking name? Up the cast list. He's the one who's basically the lead here. Roberts, maybe?
That was the one who just passed away with Strom, right?
Yes.
I think they got rid of him too. I might have said this on the 5 commentary.
The only thing I could guess is Scott Patterson wasn't really game to do this. Erickson is the detective.
That's right.
It was basically Strom's boss. So I believe here Erickson doesn't even really know he's hunting Hoffman, right?
No.
But they know Jigsaw is not alive.
Oof. I don't think he's gonna make it, guys.
I don't know.
If he's like, "Are you okay?"
That'd be all right. Jordan played with the flu, so no excuse.
Yeah, you just a couple weeks off maybe for him for Strom, and he'll be right back
Let's get
at
some
it.
Fluids in him. Oh yeah, here we go. Umbrella Health.
For a second, I thought it was an ad. I was like, "Wait, are there commercials?"
This insurance company is set up like fucking, I don't know if Matrix. Revolutions, or no, not Revolutions. What's the new one? Resurrections, where the whole company is like everyone in there has a $65 haircut.
It's just so funny to me because like they're acting also like this insurance company is like a Wall Street broker. Like it's an insurance company, man.
I know. Yeah, like my local State Farm has like 3 employees. And it's next to a Jamba Juice.
And he's drinking whiskey with his counsel.
Well, it's because they're fucking all these people over, man. He's got 7 degrees and he's working at an insurance company.
He has an aquarium. I'm like, damn, no wonder this insurance company is like.
This girl looks like Rose Byrne's half sister.
That's very specific.
course, that's his secretary, because the one rule they have at Umbrella is you have to hire a secretary you're not tempted to bang.
I think that's a Barney Stinson rule, right?
The mermaid.
That every manatee becomes a mermaid.
Correct, yeah. Every terminated policy. Okay, yeah. So I think one of the things I have to say, obviously, I think Kevin Gruder, the director here, probably had, a message he wanted to send. But part of it too is, you want to keep John Kramer involved in the narrative still, and they were sort of running out of angles to all right, who else could have possibly wronged him based on everything we know about him? And so I guess an insurance company was sort of like the next organic avenue to take. We've gone after doctors. We've gone after, the people that were responsible for his wife's miscarriage. Yeah. So it's like, all right, insurance companies, someone that might have denied him.
It's just what happens when you put yourself in a corner. And that's what they did by killing the main character in the third movie. I just think, they probably shouldn't have in retrospect. I think we've talked about that a couple times. They didn't really give them any choices. So here we are that, like you said, they have to draw a connection. And so we get the Kramer has been denied by insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
That drove motivation from all of this. So it's like, yeah, they didn't really have a choice. I think the first time we watched this movie, maybe we were like, wow, they're really going after insurance, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox, but he brings up a good point. He's like, I literally paid you my premium every month for 10 years, never got sick. The second I need any of that money back, it's the end of the world.
And I'm not here to argue with him that he's wrong. He's obviously, the insurance companies in this country it's just funny that you're getting this kind of, like you said, soapbox commentary from a horror franchise, and not just a horror franchise, one that is 6 movies in.
Because, is the demographic, I also like how this news reporter's been in like a lot of the movies. Is the demo for this message the teenagers on Halloween weekend who go watch the latest Saw installment? Are they the ones you want with your anti-insurance PSA?
Could you imagine them walking out of the movie being like, wow, man, insurance companies, they're the true villain.
That was very eye-opening.
But this was what, 2009?
That's from
right?
The Cosby Show, right?
Yeah. And he was in Fresh Prince, I think, too, just like as a cameo. But it also was, and a lot of people who maybe are now watching these movies for the first time, maybe they were a little young and they found the Saw franchise. In 2009, there was obviously like a major, push against insurance companies. Obviously, Barack Obama ran on it and things like that. But it is funny that they did go topical, especially for 2009. I think that's when this came out.
I don't know why, but this film was banned in Thailand, according to IMDb.
What?
Maybe they're very pro-insurance.
So it's just an odd... Were they all banned? I mean, what made this one?
Uh-oh. Feds is Erickson.
Maybe the king of Thailand, who's like a king/dictator, just really didn't like this movie.
He's like, not on my watch.
Go ahead.
One of our favorite tropes is the two cops it's always a fucking dick measuring contest. I don't know you ever got out from behind your desk, Erickson. Hoffman,
he's always angry.
Guess they'll let anyone in here. It's a dead body, so this is a dude.
I just don't think the movies, for me, the protagonist detectives, it loses its steam severely here. I don't feel like the biggest issue with this movie and the next one, I think, is who are we rooting for? I think what's John's ex-wife maybe has a part to play.
Jill Tuck.
Jill, yeah. But I think that's the struggle. We get her back.
Oh yeah, she survived that poisoning in the school.
Which I don't know if we thought she died. I mean, to the audience, I don't even know if they tried to hint at it.
I think, it's kind of funny because these movies come out literally every year. So like the production schedule is breakneck speeds. Yet sometimes it feels like they're not expecting to get a sequel based on some of the things they've done with characters and story. And I'm not saying you have to have it planned out like all 8 in a row, but at least know where you're going with the next one when you're making one, right? Or at least
So yeah, I would completely agree. That's why I think that the whole when they killed John Kramer, there's no way they thought they were going to do 8. Or obviously now we're at coming up on 10. So
if you could ask them like to a man, because I think I could be wrong, but I think James Wan and 1L did the first 3, right?
Yeah, and then James Wan came back, right, for 1. Or am I wrong on that?
I don't know. But like if you could ask them to a man, would they be like, yeah, we should have kept John alive for at least a few more?
It's either, you either tell John's story, and that is the Saw franchise. I mean, are you going to blame Lionsgate? What are the, what's the budgets for these movies? A couple million, like 10 million, and then they just make 30, 40 million? Why wouldn't you just... I think Saw 1 or 2 was the highest grossing, and maybe one of them made like 100.
The budget on Saw 1 was insane. It was like $30,000.
Yeah.
Like Carrie Elwes did it as a favor. I don't even know how they got Danny Glover.
I think ratio-wise, it's one of the top grossing in terms of what it costs. Yeah,
probably.
But none of these, I don't know if any of these ever made more than 30 million.
Have we decided, I feel like I ask this every commentary, but I always forget. We have settled on, based on really no information except our own hunch, that these take place like in Detroit.
I think it's supposed to be like a Detroit / a Baltimore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like kind of cities that, high in crime and supposedly corrupted, local
a lot of like
abandoned
industrial areas.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect aesthetic for like a Batman rogues gallery to live in, because all the abandoned warehouses are just perfect for layers.
Yeah.
Hideouts.
I would love that, like Batman goes, this is actually Gotham. That's the next Batman origin story we need.
So Hoffman put her in this trap, right? He was reviewing game tape on hers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're finding out what she did.
So I don't know who I would give credit to. I guess Kevin Grudert, but she won Scream Queens, and they could have just killed her off in the opening scene. Like they give her.
I mean, seriously, as huge horror fans that we are, like, just how cool to just say, like, just one of these movies, be like, man,
yeah,
bucket list. Like, you'll always have that to look forward to. Like, my one thing is I beat Blake Griffin in tennis, and I hold on to that, with every ounce of strength I can. It means so much to me.
Oh, I forgot his kid was named Gideon.
That's your first problem.
Yeah.
What even name? What's like a nickname for Gideon? Hey, Gid.
Yeah, you can't abbreviate
Giddy?
that. And now his friends have to call him Gideon every time they talk to him. It's like, my God, give me
That's
fucking
3
Aaron.
syllables, man. Like, calm down.
Jill has a nice apartment here. Look what she's done with it.
Jill was a babe back in like the 80s.
Dude, she's a babe now.
I mean, I'm not saying she's not a babe now. I'm like, but like she was in some of those like 80s movies where, like, not Revenge of the Nerds, but were the ones like where they showed a lot in the 80s. Yeah. I think you get some nude scenes from her in the 80s.
Oh yeah, so we haven't seen what was in this envelope yet, have we?
Not yet. Is that? I think that's this movie.
Yeah, the sick. Okay.
Because I think we just have Saw 7 after, like Saw 3D technically after this. So I think.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I'm remembering how this one kind of ends.
And I think in this one, spoilers, skip ahead if you haven't seen Saw 3D.
It'd be really, yeah.
Seconds. But I think in this one, it's where she drops off something to Gordon, but we don't know it's Gordon in this movie. That's what it is. That's what she brings him, I believe.
You're right.
But we do see her go to like a hospital, so you kind of assume, all right, maybe it's.
Mm-hmm. They were always hinting. We always wondered which, we're going to see him again.
Who does they hire to take all these photos? Is what I always wondered. They're very good.
They go to the local university, get like a senior who
an aspiring
photographer.
Okay, that's a good
He just needs something on his resume.
So here, person applying for a photography job. It says took creepy photos for serial killer's ex-wife. Yeah, no, it's a photo shoot to follow people around like a park discreetly.
I think that's really good to have on your resume,
I think
personally.
so too.
A serial killer isn't going to have, like, just going to sugarcoat it. He's not going to go simple or cheap.
Guys, like, can I see the photos? Absolutely. Yeah, they're in my portfolio.
Yeah. Can you go down to the courthouse and go to evidence?
Shouldn't be. I mean, if you want me for the job, I think you should do the legwork here. Yeah, so we're back to cutting out. This was something that, like, even after it's explained, like the cutting of the jigsaw pieces from them, it's explained in the first one. It's how he gets his name, obviously. But I actually don't think it's really, like, he kind of has too many things, right? Jigsaw. He has Billy. He has, and then it ends up being like the spiral. He has the fucking jigsaw pieces. It's just like a lot.
I
The
think
pig masks, it's like.
I think the jigsaw piece was his MO, right? Like originally.
Mm-hmm.
That was his mark on his victims. Like he says it, I think, in the first or second one, that isn't intended to show that they're missing something. And
Right.
then, do we get Billy at all in the first one?
He's in Adam's apartment.
Okay.
Remember, he's like has like the laugh box in him.
That's
a
right.
Really, really creepy scene.
Yeah. We only find out who Billy is to Kramer years later, that it was like he was making it for his, son.
Which, in retrospect,
creepy, dude.
Yeah. Trying to fucking traumatize your kid. What are you reading in that pamphlet? I wish it was about erectile dysfunction.
Shit, I wish I could go back.
It's not for me. It's for a friend. I'm just trying to see if there's any natural.
Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
Is that a serious question? No, it's not. This has softcore porn setting written all over it.
And I would watch it.
Same.
Over and over. She really is a MILF, man. She could get it.
Yeah. Oh, so now they both know of each other's involvement here? Because I do remember the cat and mouse is a lot between. It's a cat and mouse triangle, if you will. It's Erickson and then these two.
Yeah. So she clearly, they know that they're both involved. But I don't know that he knows that, or I don't think he knows that she knows that he's as involved, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Severely. Because she's watching him.
She's keeping the sixth envelope from him.
Yeah, and I think he thinks she's just helping John.
He's like, this envelope is just John's dick pics. Actually, yeah, that one, I was supposed to keep that one. But now that you've seen it, monkey's out of the bottle.
Rigor mortis indeed.
Yeah, so she recognizes this motherfucker. If I remember right, there's some people in this that are just like really unfortunately involved. Like the janitor from the fucking insurance company the guy that's a smoker.
I think that's what takes away from like the charm. It's just so stupid to say of the Saw movies. Like they're like poor janitor, really, we're punishing him now. Like it's just a little cruel, bro.
Do you prefer Bald John over other John? Bald John with the soul patch?
I do like the soul patch.
I do too.
I think. Wait, is it this one? Or is it this? I can't remember, where they make John Kramer try to look young. They give him like a backwards cap and he goes to like
I don't fellow kids moment.
Yeah, and I'm like, did they think that like de-aged him at all? I don't know which movie that is. It might have been the last one. Here's one of we're getting his one of his rants. We get a couple Kramer rants in this one.
Yeah. Definitely the most upset we've seen John. Because normally he's very composed. He's the coolest guy in the room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we talked about this. Did you know Tobin Bell is in an episode of Seinfeld?
Yes. Yes. He's I've seen that episode a couple times. Now I'm trying to remember who he is. I know he's like works at like a pawn shop or something like that.
Yeah.
He as an actor, I feel like he could have done more. I don't know if he has been in a lot of other things, but I think he's never been a problem in how the ridiculousness of these movies.
Oh no. Did she really not see Amanda in this room until just
That's an Arrested Development type joke.
Yeah, well, like
someone's just standing on the other side.
So is he claiming here, maybe I'm connecting dots that I shouldn't, that she's no longer a drug addict because she's helping him kill people, or because he put her through a trap?
No, he hasn't ever killed anyone. Again, I don't know why I have to make this clear.
No, I know, but is he saying she's no longer addicted to drugs because he made her cut that key out of her? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly it. He's saying there's different therapies that work. That what she's doing is only hurting these people.
Got it. All right. See, workaholic, man.
Yeah, look, good for him. You know, it's clearly late, and he's still at it. I always love when conveniently the local news is talking about something completely irrelevant to the story. Like, wow. Like Jigsaw planned this.
Attention. Yeah. Also,
there's the pig mask.
Maybe we just haven't lived in a place where there's been a serial killer, but like the expository way that they deliver information on, like no news broadcast would ever be like, here's a special on a current serial killer and all of the things he's doing. They would just
and here's the pig mask that he uses.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to remember. I think, is this a security guard? I can't remember.
This person cut the power, right? That's what just went out. This looks like, at least in terms of the wardrobe, the guy with the hook hand from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I'm trying to remember who this is.
I mean, if you get shot, like, you kind of deserve that. He said, don't fucking move, and what'd you do?
Oh, yeah, security guard.
That's on you.
Oh, that's a quick death. Oh. How did they get in there?
What kind of training does a security guard have? Like, think about how he fucking went into that room.
Also, why is a security guard going to that room?
Yeah, it really
Or
does.
Just announce yourself.
With his gun drawn. Like, the power just went out.
Oh, fuck. You're right. This is the first... Is this the first trap with the janitor?
Yeah. It's about the lung capacity.
Dude, that's so cruel.
Yeah, because the janitor's a smoker, so he inherently knows his huge disadvantage.
And I know you're listening like, dude, stop saying it's cruel. It's a fucking Jigsaw movie. Like, that's the point. I mean, I know. I'm just saying, like...
But his methodology,
move, bro. I'm not against killing people.
No, yeah. And that's why, like, even judging on the curve that we do John Kramer's ethics in these movies... This is the one film where he feels a little bit vindictive, so he kind of even bends his own rules because he really wants to fuck over these guys.
Yeah. I can't remember. Is there a twist in this one where he could have saved everyone? He was never. I don't.
There is a twist in this. I won't spoil. I just remembered it.
I remember the big twist. I'm meaning like.
Oh yeah. The big twist with a character that they've already shown us a few times. Yeah. And again, it's not that cool, but
no. Again, when they've done what, give them credit. They were able to pull off 4 pretty good twists, or really, I'll call it 3 twists. I mean, there's a twist in 3, obviously, but
and as we've said, the problem with these movies is now when you come in, especially 6 films deep in a franchise, you are looking for any telegraph of the twist you can. Like you're hunting for it the second the movie starts.
I mean, M. Night Shyamalan is like, again, he's a victim to that, but because of his own problem, like he did it to himself.
Yeah.
And you can't go into any of his movies, whether you like him or not, without thinking that the whole time. And it's impossible to live up to. It just literally is. I mean, it works a couple times, but you can't just do that consistently. What makes a twist good is literally not expecting that there is going to be a twist.
So I have 2 interesting things here in terms of fun facts. The first one, and I find this pretty hard to believe, but according to IMDb, this is the first installment of the series in which Jigsaw himself appears in a pre-recorded video to deliver the rules of the game. So, interesting.
I guess he knows he's dead, so he doesn't have to like wear a mask anymore.
Yeah, but in this, I don't know. I guess that kind of depends on your Because in the second one, like the trap in the beginning when the key is behind the guy's eyes, like he recorded that video previously. Like he's still alive when he does it, but he
But
recorded
it's are they meaning it's not his full face, like as John Kramer? Like
it.
he's doing it as Jigsaw?
I get. Is his face not in that one? I guess not.
I don't think we no, yeah, because like he hasn't revealed himself. Though the cops know it's him after the second
And
one.
this one is kind of telling as the franchise was sort of starting to wind down and lose steam. But this had the lowest opening weekend of any Saw film in the U.S., only making 14.1 million.
Does it see what it finished at? I'd be surprised if it got past like 30 or 40.
No, let me look it up.
Yeah, I think this is really where they lose steam. Again, I don't think these movies are. You and I are the rare breed where we enjoy these movies, in it's just no matter what. But I think to the masses, the attraction's gone. Again, people aren't listening or watching the story. You and I actually paid attention to John Kramer arc.
Right.
I don't think the general people who went to these movies did what we did. I think they were going to watch torture, gore,
Yeah.
porn. Like people like that kind of genre.
It was
Obviously, not a lot of people, but
like an impulse ticket buy, right? Like the teenagers who like go to the movies
yeah.
and they're like, well, what's out? Okay, I guess we go see Saw. We want to make out in the back of the theater.
And I guarantee there are the fans who are like us who did pay attention, but I think we're a vast minority of the people who watch the Saw movies. If I talk to someone who's been like, "Oh, I love Saw 1 and 2," and they're like, "Oh, I just stopped watching," they just didn't know that there was an actual storyline going on.
Yeah. So it actually did. I mean, it made $68 million
Oh, it's much better than
on an $11 million budget.
See, that's the thing. They're not making much money, but when your budget's
They don't
that
cost
low,
anything. Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think they spent much on publicity and marketing or publicity and advertising.
No, have the Saw movies ever had to?
Like you get a few trailers right around Halloween where it says it's Halloween, so that means it's time for Saw. Yeah, this poor janitor.
God.
I don't know exactly how this trap works, but like you need to pump more air into the cylinder, right?
Yeah. It keeps the little ping pong ball up or whatever. So that's smoking kills you guys, I think that's the whole message. What if a teenager walks out like, you know what? I will stay away from cigarettes. Thank you, Saw 6.
Ruffles his hair. All right, get out of here, you little whippersnapper. Here's $2. Go buy yourself an ice cream. What are you going to fucking do with $2? Save it up.
Is anyone like, yeah, that fucking janitor had it coming, man? All he did was work every single night for minimum wage to put food on his family's plate. Again, to Horn's point, we're in another abandoned facility where Jigsaw has had the chance to have to be there for long term. I mean, this takes months of planning, right? So it's just impressive that he has this much patience and ability to work and have this plan. So I don't know who's paying the mortgage on these plans, but we get the live or die lever. I would absolutely have to say, nope, this isn't as clear as it's going to be. Die means live and live means die, right? You would never absolutely think if someone's kidnapped you and locked you in a cage that you're going to be able to survive off that. And how do you get that much access to that much acid? I mean, that's not something you can just buy. And I'm pretty sure you'd be on a list if you were buying that much. It's like buying fertilizer. Maybe you could get a little bit of it, but if you get like large quantities, I'm pretty sure the FBI is going to be knocking on your door. What's up?
This clock, it's kind of creepy. It looks exactly like the clocks we used to have in the hallway at our high school.
Yeah, this was our high school. You know what I mean?
Holy shit, it is. Which was
thinking,
worse, right?
God.
Does that say what you looking for? Or what you're looking
with the winky face?
How annoying would it be if they put the wrong your? Ah,
Kramer wasn't known for. Actually,
this is
who did?
torture, John. I mean, this fucking grammar.
I don't remember who did write that note.
What a missed opportunity. She could have been in room 420.
God, this is where the movie kind like I'm not against it, but when they just start making out, I'm just like, it's not what I saw coming.
I mean, it's a fine detour to take for 10 minutes.
I'm not angry about it. It's the twist I've been hoping for.
What if that's John's next tape? Like, now I want you to stroke each other's hair and gaze into one another's eyes.
That's what the script says. I'm sorry.
All right, leave it. They definitely repurposed this hallway a lot in these movies. Like,
I have to imagine the set is just this is all the same set.
yeah, it's like a sitcom where they have like 3 different places and then they just. Killer's ability to shut down elevators in movies is just uncanny.
It goes back to what I was saying when you were in the bathroom. I was like, the amount of literal planning and months that go into these. Like, if you were just could achieve this in real life, it would be so impressive.
The way that the mom and son were standing there on the camera, like they're just so over his shit right now. We ordered a spinach dip 20 minutes ago and it hasn't come out. Tables came in after us has already gotten their food.
Set the mood, set the mood. Just give us some light-hearted music to pass the time. We won't complain about not getting our artichoke dips.
So he did notice that one of his organs had been harvested, right?
Yeah, I think he just saw that there was a cut. I was going to say we're not getting the rant yet. Our favorite rant.
Was this his previous job, or was this like, does John have cancer yet? Here, I'm trying to figure out the timeline.
I don't think so. I think he's talking to him in the sense of like he's there for his wife's medical function.
It's a formula. It's like Along Came Polly.
Yeah, I don't know if he has become Jigsaw yet. I mean, maybe
this is probably setting him off. Those whatever John was eating looked like when you go to like a party and they have like a big wrap and they cut it up into little slices. I love those.
Like, where did you get that?
Like, I didn't see that anywhere.
It's not even a catered event, John. When did you bring that with
you? Did you bring that from home? I definitely don't think that's allowed.
Is it from your pocket?
I hope it's cold. I will say, this conversation is just a little too heavy for like a work party, you know?
He's like, I don't think it'd be kind of strange working for an insurance company responding like, hey, do you have the will to live if you were trapped in a room for 3 days?
Because if not, your premium will go up $9 a month. What?
We're going to have to test this, actually. So what weekend are you free to be tied up?
I'm not. Well, all right. Then you're going to have to pay $74 a month instead of $66. Yeah. Everyone does this.
Over 30 years, that's like $10,000.
I think I might just switch to the one with the gecko. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I made this comment when you were in the bathroom. Where the fuck is this place?
I think an aquarium or like a zoo.
What zoo or aquarium is just this abandoned? I mean, even if it's abandoned, like to be able to get in there and do what you need to do in here.
Positing that all of the Saw movies take place in the same city, like the Saw proper movies. Yeah. I mean, so the city we grew up in, it would be hard to find this many abandoned places just in general.
Like, I mean, it's not.
Who's managing corporate real estate here? This is a mess.
And I'm not saying abandoned buildings don't exist, but it's ability like, okay, just because it's abandoned doesn't mean it's not being watched. Or, I'm sure there's some bank involved who still owns the property.
Yeah, or for it to be like decrepit like this, like just fucking knock it over. This is incredibly creepy. That may be one of the creepiest uses of Billy right there.
I see this. This is again is an interesting concept. I do like this one where they're like he's deciding who lives and dies based off his own formula. But when it's personal. But again, they shouldn't be able to choose. Like that doesn't mean one of them should die. Who do you pick in the scenario? The young guy with no family or the older woman with a family? And I think she's sick.
I don't remember the younger guy's relationship to him, but the woman is his secretary. I'd probably let him live.
So you're going to let an older, sicker woman survive. Learning a lot about you.
She made a dumb choice when she chose to have diabetes, but who took that photo of the kid sitting on top of a park bench?
I love that to show that he's alone. He's like, he doesn't have family. Here's a picture of him on a bench.
That was definitely like his senior photo from high school. The photographer was like, now sit on the top of the bench. She's like, but why would I just not sit on the actual seat part of the bench? Just, okay.
Inherently, sitting on a bench alone doesn't mean you don't have friends or family.
Well, if you have friends or family, cycling, why aren't they in every picture you've ever taken?
That is true. Isn't there a Keanu Reeves photo where he's like on a bench alone, like feeding a duck? And it's like, oh.
So he has to just let go of one of these?
Yeah, I think so. I'm like, dude, just because you don't have a family doesn't mean you don't have friends or anything like that.
There's another photo of him. He's just alone. All he does is go and sit in public places by himself.
Look, I've never been that alone in my life, so maybe
with people.
Again, this photographer, I would love to see his resume. Like, hey, follow this loner around, taking pictures of him being sad.
Also, man, let's not stack the deck. Some of those photos are really tight shots. He could have been with a group of friends, but we're just zoomed in so
What
if
he was yelling that? What if he was like, zoom out?
They're cropped out, I promise. We're at a happy
We were on a party
hour.
bus. I needed a minute to get away. It got a little out of hand. Everyone was drunk. God, I just stepped out for air.
5-minute fucking breather.
Yeah, he let go of... Yeah, fuck this guy for not having a family.
I guess it's barbed wire. Never mind. That's painful.
I
only does he have to hang on to this one?
I think it. Oh God, yeah. I think it eventually she'll be let go here. Yeah.
The worst part is after this, she put in her 2 weeks. So like he saved her life and then had to rehire a new secretary.
Thank you. By the way, I'm leaving for France next week, so.
You don't have enough.
You're telling me now?
Well, hang on, Susan. The Denver conference is in 2 weeks. That's when I need you most. Not my problem.
I just love that they just leave it. But she's like, "What do I do now?"
I don't know.
Standing here.
Call an Uber.
It's 2009, Horns.
True. That would have been so nice to go to college with Uber, but
God, game changer.
So they can see him go through all the traps? His family?
Yeah, I think so.
Do we know this is his family yet, or is that...
We don't. We're assuming it's his family.
Okay. And without any spoilers, can they see Miss Jenkins?
I don't believe they can. Not yet.
And what is that acid dripping onto?
So I mentioned this when you were in the bathroom. I'm like, look, you can't just get that kind of acid in quantities of that amount without...
People would ask questions when you try to purchase.
Where are you? You can't get that on Amazon. You see how big that vat of acid is?
Is that thing going to explode if he doesn't make it in time? Is that the issue here?
We don't know. I think if this is your first time to watch, and obviously it's not...
Or it's gonna go through like the sprinkler system.
Yeah, I think we're thinking that that's what's gonna happen, and they have a lever that says live or die, and then you pick live or die.
Got it.
And it was like I would never trust that.
You've misquoted me and paraphrased on several occasions.
I said I really like Chinese food, but you posted that I love Chinese food.
It's hyperbole.
I was really upset about it.
And it's just irresponsible journalism.
Do you remember when that happened to me a few years ago? The newspaper at the city we're from, I was interviewed about soccer at the Olympics. And I was talking to you, asked me about other events I like, and I said, oh, I really enjoy watching gymnastics.
Yeah.
And then if you go look up the article, it says like, Ronnie Cycli loves gymnastics. He said it's the best sport.
You're like, that's not what I said.
I'm like, first of all, I do like gymnastics, but did you have to make it so extreme? Like, I can't remember exactly the quote, but it's really, you could find it online. I'm like, what? They make it seem like I'm obsessed. I'm pretty sure the quote was obsessed with gymnastics.
They clearly had a fucking...
I was like, yeah, why do you need to spice this up? We're talking about Olympic events.
It's all about clicks, baby. This is the scene I was referring to. So this comes up again in.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to go back and read her lips and see if she was asking for the person we think she's asking for.
This guy is just vacuuming the same spot over and over and over.
Pretty dirty, yeah.
There's other parts of the carpet, dude.
Now I have to ask. They knew. I don't know. I mean, they probably knew they were making another one. I don't know if they knew it would be the last one, but this scene, the scene with Jill just there, do you think they knew what they were setting up?
I don't think so.
Or they're just like, this could be a lot of different things.
I don't know. I don't give them that much credit, but I would hope so. I feel like they make these determinations during the filming of the next one. I don't know how much planning there was. I think 3 and 4 were clearly planned together. I think that's about it.
See, I don't even know. I feel like 4 they just had a genius idea and retrofitted it to 3.
The only reason I think that, and you're probably right, was just because killing Kramer was such an extreme.
Right.
By making 4 the same timeline, you killed him essentially at the end of 2 movies. So
because 4, it's interesting. Like they don't act like he didn't die, but in the beginning, you're like, how is he still involved in this?
Yeah, because the opening is his autopsy, which is a great scene.
This sort of sets up, like, actually speaking back to 3. I mean, Amanda's sort of like descent into psychosis. Maybe not a descent. Maybe she was already there. But it really all comes from like this jealousy of Hoffman, even though John doesn't really like Hoffman. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, why are you working with him, man? You made the hire. Like, it's not like he lied on his resume. Hoffman doesn't, he's just a dick all the time. Also, it'd be really funny if like Amanda, while she's like wheeling Kramer in, she's like doing wheelies with him. She's like, wee! He's like, what are you doing?
I'm a
serial killer with cancer.
It will never work. The loop-de-loop's too aggressive. They have a weird sexual tension here. Or maybe
he's got to work on the interpersonal skills of this office. I mean,
that's part of, honestly, cycling, that's where you got to remember, HR doesn't work for the employees. It works for the company.
No, that is a great statement to everyone listening. Do not trust your HR.
They're not your friend.
I can say that as a corporate attorney. Like, they are not on your side.
I mean,
wheel them out.
One thing I don't understand, I mean, I just don't understand, I guess, casting in Hollywood, because to me, Tobin Bell, granted, he's typecast as Jigsaw, but he is an incredibly talented actor with a really creepy voice. Why has he not gotten more roles? And Shawnee Smith, I mean, she's attractive. She can clearly play like a very deeply troubled person. Like, I haven't seen her in anything except for a few episodes of Becker before this movie, for the Saw franchise. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to. Like, I don't know.
Looking at, have we ever gone through Tobin Bell's like filmography?
He did some weird, like sci-fi movies. Let me look it up here.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, he was in Tootsie. That was in the he was in Goodfellas. Okay, I mean, probably not a big role. The Firm.
This was definitely his big break.
Yeah. I wonder if he did like a lot of. I love this personal life on his Wikipedia page. When not acting, he coaches a Little League baseball team and flag football. How amazing would it be if your flag football coach was fucking Jigsaw?
Imagine being like the umpire and you fuck up a call and he comes up to you and he's like, I want to play a game.
It's called baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not letting us play baseball. His other hobbies include hiking and playing guitar. Who wrote this? Did he?
Anytime you say your hobbies include hiking, I just feel like you don't have hobbies, because that's like the most generic thing to put in a dating profile.
I mean, he's had a long career since 1979. If you go through his filmography, he's in something every year.
Yeah.
But it's just nothing. I just don't think it's anything big.
I wonder, like, how much you think he made from these Saw movies? Because with the budgets being so low, like, he's not making $2 million a film, you know?
Yeah, no. But you know what? You give him a couple $100,000 every year. I mean, I don't think he's going to have a problem with that. I mean, looking at his filmography on TV, like he was never in anything a lot, but he was in a ton of things like once or twice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the scene where he just really decides.
Oh yeah, here we go. I think we get very close to a breaking of the fourth wall here.
This scene you've talked about a lot since I've seen it, and I'm excited to revisit it here. I think this gene therapy is legit what Kobe Bryant did when he tore his Achilles.
What if John Kramer actually brings that up? He's like, Kobe Bryant did this. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yes, Kobe. But number 8, not number 24.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Gordon reference.
I mean,
That's true.
Just, the guy's doing his job, man.
Can I be frank with you? Well, then who should I be? Probably not the best time for a joke. No, seriously, what were you going to say?
This is here we go. We're finally seeing what drove all of this. He hasn't become a killer yet, right?
No. Yeah, because when if Gordon's still treating him, then he hasn't trapped him. Which again, I know in Canada that's not his first trap, but it's pretty damn close.
Has he tried to kill? Because it's really when he kills himself, like tries to kill himself running off the road. Here we go. This is, yep. This is like the big monologue that has probably, I don't remember this movie as good as the others, but this always has stood out to me.
Yeah. Is this true?
These politicians about what
of course they're on TV at the time.
In the Far East that they pay their doctors when they're healthy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure somewhere. It's like in some cultures you buy gifts for other people on your birthday. Yeah, here we go. So close to looking right at the camera. I mean, it's as close to breaking the fourth wall as possible. The fucking insurance companies. I like he's like saying, if you do this, you'll have to pay for it and it'll be expensive. He's like, right, that's why I'm coming to you. That is the point.
I'm actually kind of surprised based on this exchange that he waited this long to put him in a trap.
Yeah, exactly. So theoretically this is
shit, I would have gone after him before Dr. Gordon.
I mean, do we have a timeline? Actually, that's a good question. For you and I, as much as we talk Saw, do we have a timeline?
I mean, there's got to be one out there, right?
I'm very curious when this technically takes place.
Yeah.
Because Saw 1 and 2, I don't know if we know. I mean, there's a definite break there in terms of when they obviously catch Kramer. So
yeah, because I mean, in Saw 2, he's obviously 3. He's literally on his deathbed, but Saw 2, he is not in good shape.
No. Saw 3 and 4, obviously same time. I'm actually going to look this up. If you know the timeline, I don't know. I just don't know if there's ever been a formal.
There's been so much retroactive continuity that it's one of those things where if you were to write at the timeline as the movies go, leave space in between the events because they're going to give you ones that have to go back in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then we get again, if we're going to talk about Jigsaw, that resets a lot of it too.
Yes. What a stupid fucking twist in Jigsaw.
They had already done the timeline one.
Yeah, that's not unique. I'm trying to look up. This girl looks very familiar. Debbie. Who plays Debbie in Saw 6?
She does look familiar. I actually almost thought, for a second, but she's tied up and she doesn't look at as much there. Further away, she looked like the girl who plays Kate in Lost, but when it's closer, definitely doesn't.
Carolyn Cave is her name. She's crushing it right here. She's not been in much past this. This is probably her biggest role.
They should have done like the whole movie where people who won the Scream Queen thing.
That would have been really cool.
Like every victim was someone won from that. I do like this trap. I think again because they like theoretically this is one where she can survive and he can help her, and it goes back to the original like the same in the Saw 3, where no one needs to die. It's just you'll have to be painful and sacrifice a little bit. But I just hate the ones where like one of these people are dying either way.
I mean, that's to me the way a good Jigsaw trap is.
Yeah. You're learning from the experience. He's learning to sacrifice to help someone else. That's something he doesn't do.
God, that would be so fucking painful.
Oh, dude. Oh. He'd probably be planning a ski trip, right? You know, he's like, I got to get somewhere cold.
I really should apply some ice to this. Oh,
that was smart of her.
Heels? You go, girl.
That was really smart of her.
Damn, are those like ovens?
Yeah, I think they're...
Oh, you think it's a fucking trap? Yeah, no shit.
Wait a second. What are we doing here? Yeah, this is very Saw 3-esque.
Yes.
I'd be like,
it's Saw 3 vibes. We're like one guy pretty much goes. Actually, the whole premise of these are... That reminds me when I was a kid, you remember those old, like, car lighters, like that you would pull out and like press a button and they would like make a zinging noise to light a cigarette? One time I didn't know what they were. I was like 6 or 7 and I touched my finger on one.
Ooh.
This, yeah.
Yeah, we don't get those anymore.
Nope. Yeah, if you think about it, the whole world used to just like make it easy to be a smoker, and now
yeah,
they would just accommodate it any way they could.
Could you imagine to be like equivalent of why don't they like just have whiskey in cars?
Right.
Like it's so funny now in modern times. Back then it was so normal. It's like I just saved your fucking life, man. Why is she attacking him? I mean, she has a key, but like, why does
I don't know.
she think she has to kill him?
Cold cock this chick? Like, geez, dude.
Oh, I just don't understand why she thinks she needs to kill him.
I don't know. This still, maybe I'm just misreading it, but this still feels oddly sexual.
I'm turned on.
Oof.
Oof.
Oh my God. Was that like multiple shots?
Mm-hmm. Hey, she's okay. She's okay. Walk it off.
Fine.
Walk it off. Nope.
Give her a foot. Give her some space.
Bro, she just kicked you in the nuts. Why are you so feeling bad about it? And the thing is, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like he was not too sad that lawyer died. He's like, honestly, she took forever to respond to emails.
I feel personally attacked. I know what that's like, okay? We're doing our best.
Yeah. My inbox is flooded.
People don't realize you're not my only client, okay? Hey, I sent you this 30-page contract yesterday. Are you done? I'm like, well, like 8 other people sent me 30-page contracts a week ago. So
you do the math. That's 240 pages I have to redline, bro.
They don't actually realize there's other people talking to me. That's my favorite part of my job. So I'm glad that lawyer was part of our misery. One day.
I'm a little confused, and I know they've shown us, but I'm just I'm having issues piecing it together. Who can see who, and who doesn't know of the other one's presence in this trap?
I think they're the only ones who can see.
The mom and son?
Yeah.
You know, when I remembered this movie before, Erickson, this guy was a much bigger part of it than I remembered. Same with Perez. They're like hardly in it at all, and I think we only have Yeah, we have about 25 minutes left, maybe a little bit less with credits.
Yeah, it's one thing these movies always have, are the runtime.
Yeah.
What did you see when you looked this up on IMDb? Like, how long do these take to film? Can't be more than a month.
I'm
assuming,
assuming
actual production.
Yeah, I'm assuming they start pre-production like before the last one is finished.
But in terms of actual film time, like, am I talking pre or post? Like,
yeah, I would guess like 4 months.
Edits,
probably.
Yeah, like the actual.
I think that's one reason why after Saw 3, they all have different directors, because you need the director to start on the next movie before the other one's finished.
Yeah, that's why the Harry Potter movies, they try doing them once a year, and they're like, oh, this is impossible.
No, with the post-production they need, there's no way.
They did that, and then they immediately started going a year and a half, and then did one for 2 years.
So do they...
Or you got to do it like... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, does she suspect Hoffman, or does she just not fucking like him?
I think she suspects Hoffman because she was Strom's partner, and he was onto Hoffman. And I think that was the whole ruse, is they're onto Hoffman, I think, and they're using... That's why they kept it a secret that she was dead, or wasn't dead.
Better keep him close.
Yeah, the only other option I was going to say was like the way Lord of the Rings did it, where they filmed all of the movies at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they'll release them in year, like Lord of the Rings was released once a year, but that's because they filmed them. Like, Star Wars took 3 years for a reason.
Yeah. For them to do that, though, they probably would have had to take a year without a Saw movie coming out. And I guess what they were worried about with these is it's like, dude, if we take a year off, we're going to lose momentum, and then people just fucking forget about us.
And I think it's true. I think we're seeing that with Jigsaw and Spiral. And now... I mean, you and I talked about this. I think if you're listening to Saw 6 commentary with us, then you're like us. You're clearly messed up, and you're probably aware of what's happening with this franchise. I think everyone's seen the rumor now that we're getting a Saw X or Saw 10. I think they're calling it Saw X, and the rumor is it's going to be a prequel. Or take place. What did I tell you? Take place between 2 and 3, I believe, is the intent. And Tobin Bell is in. Tobin Bell is supposedly coming back. So they've painted themselves again in a corner for a long time. Jigsaw, we saw the twist being what it was. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And Spiral, which did not do what we were hoping it would do. So.
That movie to me is just a bait and switch, really. Like, they slapped the Saw moniker on it. It has no... This isn't a spoiler. It's not in the franchise. Like, it's...
Well, and then getting Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson was just like... It was cool to get us in the door. I was like, it made me really think they had something.
Yeah.
And it's not just the Saw franchise.
Yeah. It's not in the Saw franchise, and the quote-unquote twist at the end is a paint by numbers, like...
You and I talk about this. It's not just the Saw movies. It's everyone. When people say, "Oh, I'm coming back because I read the script and it's something amazing and it has to be done," and that I would have never come back unless it was good, always gets me in the door. I'm like, "Oh wow, this is going to be something." And I watch. I'm like, "Dude, you guys were full of shit."
I know. I've fallen for that sales pitch so many times,
and I probably still will, sadly. But it works.
Well, you want to even said like for them to revive this after Saw. Or I guess Jigsaw was the last one. They had to have some idea. And no, they didn't. They just thought that enough time had passed to where people would either have the taste out of their mouth or be excited for a new one, and it would make money at the... And you and I both saw that in theaters, so it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Billy, we're really getting a close-up of him here.
I did like this one. Again, it's one where people die either way, but I just think there's some creativity.
So what is it? How many people does he have to shoot?
I think like all of them, or I can't remember, 4 of them or 5.
And there's no way, like, even if you shoot in between 2 of them, it's going to hit the person behind them.
Yeah, exactly. It also stops. Like, he can't choose until.
Oh, so if he doesn't pick, I'm confused. He has to bleed to stop it?
Yeah, he has to hurt himself. Follow the policy.
What's the policy?
He's young and yeah.
But they're all young, right?
Yeah, but maybe some have like a precondition or something.
He's like, I'm sorry, I'm going to kill you in order of how many of you hit sales quota last quarter.
It is fun. I mean, like, again, maybe younger generation doesn't realize back in the day, if you had a precondition, you weren't getting insurance. Obviously, that's the law now, but like, so like, nope, you're fucked if you were born with something.
Sorry. Oof. So that stops the gun?
Mm-hmm.
So how many times will this go around? Like how many times in theory would he
Every single person, yeah.
Just once?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oof. And I love like the people get mad when he saves someone because they know it means they're more likely to die now.
Right.
You don't even know her.
He's like, guys, that really fucking hurt.
I like this when they're all turning on each other. Your parents hate you.
Your parents hate you.
I'd be like, your parents are dead. Oh, that's a good one. I'm pregnant. Like she's like, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, and it's yours. We've never had sex.
Like an I'm Spartacus moment. I'm also pregnant, Chris. I don't think you're.
The government told me that I'm the only one that can save them from nuclear war.
No, but I am going to the smoon.
The secret moon. Oof.
He's like, honestly, I fell asleep on that one. That's my bad.
It's my arms are sweaty. My knees weak. Mom spaghetti.
Wait a second, sir. I think that's from the 8 Mile sound. God damn it! I made it up myself. I told you I wrote it in a notebook years before.
We can't pay the royalties.
You have to stop right there. You've sang too much of it.
Probably my favorite. I don't know. And I think of that. I think of Paul Rudd and Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Oh, the weather outside is weather.
Weather.
Just so they wouldn't get sued.
Do they have any like way to possibly move out of the way of one?
I don't think so. It's aiming at their chest. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just turning on each other, man.
Now you only get one shot, so like the chick in the red who he hit the button for, she's good, right?
She's good. Yeah.
It won't come back to her. Okay.
Yeah. He's saving all the women, man.
Yeah, that's not a great look.
I mean,
I'm glad he's saving the women, but like, how's he gonna be able to hire males?
Yeah, I see when you're doing the interview process. I see you let all of your former male employees die. Is that going to happen to me?
This is actually part of the onboarding, this training. Is he makes you give him a sales pitch before the shotgun would go off.
It's not real. It's just how to see how you react. This is intense for him. He's like, wow, okay, well now I know I'm dying. I think I would let him be mad. She's like, stop being mean.
I will say this, the people who survived back in the office on Monday, this is going to be awkward, some of the things we've said to each other.
I think this is a good team, but this is way better than a fucking trust fall.
Agreed. This is still less uncomfortable than some of these weird icebreakers you have to do, like pull up a photo from your camera roll from the weekend. I'm like, what? I don't want to show that to anyone that I work with.
Can we be honest here? Has a trust fall actually helped a team?
I don't think so.
Have you ever trusted someone more because they caught you when they were supposed to and everyone was watching?
I'm trying to think if I've ever legitimately done a trust fall.
I think we did in student council back in high school. Remember those retreats?
I feel like that's something now where, like, in education, you have to be like, yeah, it's really not worth the risk.
I just don't understand. Like, I don't know what trust falls are supposed to do. Like, wow, that you fell backwards and that person caught you. I'm like, yeah, but there were 30 other people watching.
If we're in like a cheerleading squad, then maybe I get it. Oh, it is a zoo. Okay.
Yeah. That's a heartbreaking story that this zoo just didn't make it, you know?
Yeah, what do you do with the animals when you go out of business? That's where Tiger King comes in. That's how he has a...
Yeah.
Wait, this is Cecil from the last one. Dude, he gets the pendulum, slices his gut out. This chick has a little keyboard. She likes to do little remixes.
She's matching.
Yeah.
She's actually a DJ on the weekends.
She's like, I didn't figure out who the voice is, but I have a banger that I think could go viral. Check this out. In 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, what have you been doing in here, Kimberly, for 17 straight hours?
I've gone a little crazy.
Seth, like Jigsaw comes in.
Are they aware here?
They think they pretty much have Hoffman caught red-handed. Because they're going to unscramble the audio and they know it's him.
Yeah. But they're not. These are obviously one of those moments where the cops are just terrible.
Like, if you know you have someone caught dead to rights, you should expect them to freak out and do something drastic, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you look around this room, like, the type of shitty old equipment would not be in a police. Like, we should throw half of this junk away.
Do you know how ill-funded they are? Okay. Have you seen the city when half the structures are abandoned? Of course, they're not going to have up-to-date technology.
And we have the subtitles on, so we can't actually hear the audio. But I'm assuming right now they're like unscrambling it into his voice from Jigsaw.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I've seen it. I wouldn't say I've seen this recently, but I think I saw it in the last couple of years. So that's exactly what's happening. I think I went through a rewatch during shutdown. I think it's been 2 years.
We'll have to do an episode because like going back and doing commentaries on all of them, I find that even the ones I didn't like I'm actually enjoying this one more than I thought I would. It feels less like a Saw movie than the others, but I still think there's a lot of fun horror elements to it.
I think as long as you can separate, I think there's a clear difference between Saws 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can put 1, 2, and 3 and 4 in their own categories, and then 5 through. I think this one have their own feeling. 5 and 6, and then 7. I can't wait for us to revisit that one. It just goes off the.
Oh shit! Sorry to interrupt, Cycly. We
Ooh.
knew the coffee was getting thrown in someone's face.
Yeah. I feel bad for her.
Oh shit! Human shield. I mean, that's just strategy, right?
She's like, I was retiring to go into my DJ. She had a DJ career lined up. It was going to be great.
2 gigs this weekend. Only one was paid, but the other one, there was going to be a lot of eyeballs there. Perez has had a rough 36 hours.
Yeah, it hasn't been going well. I like that. If that's her last word, that's a fucking good way to go.
Yeah, I mean, she's full of shit, but I would say the same thing. But again, if you know you have the dude dead to rights, like, you have to be more prepared for this. Like, what do you think he's going to do when he's backed in a corner? Again, sorry for being good at my job.
Yeah.
I had to die.
That's on them, man, honestly. What they expect.
And at this point, he's just got to, like, break glass in case of emergency. Whose hand is that? Strom's? Okay, because he put the... Also, we had a Sprite Zero in that cooler. He's like, because, I love Sprite, but it's the sugar that...
But it's great because when you take, other people's food from the fridge and then you put his fingerprints on them...
It's great.
They're going to be like, oh, wow, it was Strom who took my sandwich.
And then when the email goes out, he's like, oh, who I saw in there was Strom. I don't know if he touched your stuff, but definitely he was poking around the tuna sandwich.
He touched everything based on this. Yeah, here we go. I just love having a dead person's hand with you at all times, just for these reasons. You never know when you're going to need to use it.
But, okay, maybe I'm confused, because Strom has been dead for, like, at least a day or two. Like, how is this even going to make sense to anyone?
Yeah, he's everywhere. It's the same way with Jigsaw.
Like, they were investigating Strom's death, so how would Strom have killed them?
It's just, he's a ghost. Okay, what's the point of leaving his fingerprints if you're just going to burn everything?
Right.
I'm just saying, like, he's really going for the overkill here.
Yeah. Lighting all the matches. It's from a Buc-ee's, the matchbook he has.
If you're gonna go quality, you got to get it from Buc-ee's.
Mm-hmm. Also got some yogurt pretzels when he bought the matches.
The largest Buc-ee's in the world is going up only 20 minutes from me.
Jesus.
No.
I can't imagine how big the largest Buc-ee's in the world is.
People in Texas are mad.
You know, the response is just now we're going to build one bigger than that.
Exactly. I'm just I wonder if I can sign up for office space there. Like, can I just come? Like, I don't want to work at home anymore. I want to work at a Buc-ee's.
Dude, if they had like a second floor of just like WeWork offices, that would be so fucking cool. Just walk downstairs to Buc-ee's anytime you want. So this is probably about to be answered. Does Hoffman know she is doing it? This is the sixth envelope that Hoffman didn't know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her and Hoffman are like pseudo working together on this, right?
Yeah, because she hates Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's ready for him to get his comeuppance. Again, you don't trust the
what?
Liv thing here.
I got this and Saw 3D confused with the ending as far as her and Hoffman go.
Yeah, that's this one.
Okay. No,
right?
But don't they have their showdown in Saw 3D, right? Jill's in Saw 3D, I think.
Yes, she is.
Because the last scene with her and him is at a different place than this.
But the scene I think you're referencing happens at the end of this one. She is in Saw 7, but it's... I don't want to give it away. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
He gets her back.
Also, I didn't remember this. Saw 3D is also called Saw the Final Chapter, which this is where like the franchise, like the first three, actually the first four, are actually pretty brilliant. But when you start doing stuff like that, it kind of becomes like the Friday the 13th franchise, because two things that both of those franchises have done is call a movie the final chapter and then have 3 sequels afterwards.
Yeah. It's just, I think it gets people in the door. You know, that's what they think. Oh, I have to see this Saw movie because it's the last one. Now, granted,
and I guess technically you could do like prequels and still claim it's the final chapter to the story.
Well, yeah, and theoretically, Saw 7 was the last one that came out in the year, annual release.
Right.
But I mean, yes, it's what a production studio like Lionsgate, they're never gonna let this go. Like, as long as it's cheap to make and makes money, they're gonna keep. They're not gonna abandon something. What else is Lionsgate's doing? You know.
So was this letter from Amanda?
Yeah. So we get a little bit of a showdown here.
Okay, this was the letter that Amanda read something in Saw 4 that really pissed her off. Oh, he ratted her out. So she was basically the reason Cecil was trying to get into the clinic, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get drugs.
They were all the connection, yeah. Oof. I always hate that scene. I mean,
I know, that's rough.
That's almost worse to watch than any of the actual traps.
So did Hoffman tell John about that?
No, that he was threatening that.
Oh, that's right. He just answers that.
And that's why she goes nuts at Saw 3. See, to me, again, I haven't looked at the actual timeline. And if you know the timeline, comment below. But like, this feels like it's only weeks later.
Yeah.
If that.
I will say Amanda's meltdown in Saw 3 towards Lynn is really well acted.
But and I will say I give them credit for it. And I think that's why you and I talked about Saw 3 felt weak when we first saw it.
Yeah.
But when you realize really what's going on, Saw 3 really holds up much better.
Oh, yeah.
Here we're getting the showdown.
So did he want Amanda to kill Lynn because he knew that John would basically disown her at that point? Like, she would be out of the picture. He would be like, I can't save you.
Yeah. He did it. Yay.
The problem with a lot of these, if he doesn't make it through the door, then he's like so confused.
Oh, now what? This is where we get the twist.
It's a little too movie cliche to have it with 1 second left, you know?
So convenient.
Okay, so they couldn't see her in the other room.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't know. We're like, wait a second, we thought that was his husband and wife, or wife and son.
Yeah, brother, sister. Again,
Yeah,
I appreciate that they brought her back because she's been in, I think, all but the first. No, she wasn't the second one. She's been in 3, 4.
just as a new faster. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is this?
Hmm?
Oh, was that's the
Yeah,
husband? You thought
that's
that
the
was his
husband.
husband and wife, right?
Yeah, yeah. That was the whole thing. We thought that was the family, and now they get the choice to kill.
So was the live or die for him?
It's for her, the sister.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I didn't
Because he
remember this one.
chose that to let their family member die, so they get to
Right.
choose.
I remembered her being his sister. I didn't remember the connection with.
Yeah.
God, he really needs to work on the video quality of this.
Yeah, like he has all the time to find abandoned factories, take months on end for planning, meticulously, by the way. Like this isn't just half-assed, but he can't search for a nice camera.
Yeah, I mean the budget
these things are
clearly
expensive.
goes to the traps. Like,
Yeah. Now he's like, wow, if I had only approved those requests on all those insurance claims, none of this would be happening to me. He's learning a lesson now, John.
that's beautiful.
I will go back and live a different life and approve every single claim and then get fired pretty quickly
I mean,
after.
you can call me an asshole, but I would go die in a heartbeat here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even
probably.
consider it.
And that's why you need to be captured by John Kramer.
I won't deny that. It'd be a really good Bro Force Squad retreat to have him put us all in a trap. Geiger would have to kill us the first chance he got.
Banner would die immediately because he would try to do something ridiculous and be like, hey, don't do that.
Like you're just
like, no, guys, I got this.
You're messing with shit in the room that you really shouldn't be. Okay, maybe it does happen, this movie, the thing I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Jigsaw.
I just remember it being in a different room than this.
Yeah, I think Jigsaw for us, our video would be like, you have watched too many Saw movies. They're not that good. What is wrong with you? You have abandoned your wives.
It's like, don't you get royalties from that? So in a weird way, me watching those paid for this trap.
You have family who loves you. You have better things you could be doing. Like, no, Jigsaw, I'm sick.
What's your fucking deal? Also, Horns, you ate an entire bag of Frito-Lay's chips on your own last weekend. Yeah, that's not my problem.
And then you told your wife you didn't buy any. What?
We found the wrapper.
Man, you know a lot, all right?
Okay, so the sixth envelope was Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you get to this point, it's like, what type of twist can we drop on you? It was a good effort here.
Yeah. It's not again, they've said they're in their own corner. That's the issue. I think in any, like, if somehow this was a one-off, I think we've been like, oh, what a twist.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But it's impossible to live up to, especially after what Saw 1 and 2 did.
Yeah, don't let the kid near that thing because he's going to fucking yank it down. He is hormonal.
He's like,
it's not killing him, though, right?
They don't know, I think. They think they're going to kill him. Again, I think every Jigsaw trap has a twist, right? They think they're going to kill him. Oh, they do. Never mind. I was completely wrong. I thought they killed the sister. I'm misremembering all of this.
Oh, it's pumping him full of the acid. Dude, that'd be a crazy way to die. Acid gets pumped through your organs.
I would feel like that would have to be fast, at least.
It would feel like heartburn, but like everywhere in your body.
Like I had a jalapeno margarita.
That's probably what it felt like. At least when you're on the toilet afterwards.
How did has it been that long since I've seen this? I thought she died. What's the point of having the sister there then?
I'm confused. What role does she possibly play?
Ugh. See, is he going to feel better now about his dad dying, that he killed him?
Honestly, I would. That's the Sith.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
He's gonna sleep at night for the first time. Like, wow.
It's like the same line in one of the Batman movies. Like you kill him, then you just go searching for another person and another. No, I think just the one kill, and I'm pretty good.
Yeah, again.
Classic game over.
I love when people who have clearly done this to other people are like so offended that someone did this to them. He's like, "You bitch!
You
How
asshole.
could you do this?"
Yeah,
like, wait a second.
This is not. There's no way. Yeah, no. I'm thinking of the end of Saw 3D with the thing that happens.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. What I'm saying is there's still a showdown. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but again, at least Hoffman is being tested here, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's a rite of passage, really. Yeah, he can just undo that buckle then.
Ugh.
So he just had to break like his hand.
Ugh, yeah. I also like that Hoffman's always wearing a suit. Like, I appreciate it.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. There was a lot of shit in that box. He went with a screwdriver?
It's a magic box.
Does it end with the resolution of this trap, or do we have to see that in the next movie?
No, I think we see it. Yeah.
Oh, that was genius.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just fucks up his face to get out of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
What's it hooked on, I wonder? I guess when it's open a little bit, you could probably pull out of it, right?
Yeah, it makes it a little easier. Yeah, but it really fucks his jaw. Oof.
Well, now when he puts together his Tinder profile, he can just turn and get his left side in it, you know?
Ooh. Yeah, he has a good side and a bad side. Oof.
All right, that is Saw 6. Cycling, we continue the Halloween tradition. I guess final thoughts. I have not probably watched this movie in like 15 years, I would say.
15 years?
Yeah.
It's 13 years old.
It is? I stand by it.
Would you say you've only watched it the one time it came out in theaters? You've never done a rewatch?
No, you're right. I probably watched it. I think we watched it once in college together.
Yeah.
It felt
it's probably been a while. Yeah. I knew I did a full rewatch of the entire Saw genre a few years ago. I think it was over COVID.
Saw 5 just popped up next on Peacock, and Saw 6 on Rotten Tomatoes, critics-wise, has a 40%, which is pretty high, actually.
Yeah, for
Saw 5 has 13%, which is
so it's funny because I think looking back at both of these movies, I would say I walked out of the theaters not liking Saw 5 as much and liking Saw 6 more. But now, years later, decade later, having revisited it, Saw 5 holds up much better. I don't think Saw 6 was still okay. I don't hate it. I mean, you're getting what you get, but Saw 5 has earned its place, I think, back in the line.
Yes, I don't hate Saw 6. I thought I hated it. I don't hate it, but Saw 5 is a far superior movie.
I think you're going to, when we watch Saw 7, I think I texted you when I did my rewatch, Saw 7 will make you love Saw 6. I think Saw 7 it's just bad.
I remember Saw 7 being pretty horrible.
To me, it was worse than I remembered. Like, that's all of these movies I will say, like, especially Saw 5 and 6 are better than I originally remember. Saw 7 gets worse. And then it'll be interesting to revisit Jigsaw and maybe Spiral one day.
The only thing I really remember about Saw 7 is like the motivational speaker guy being a big part of it, and then of course like the ending, which was like kind of
we have been waiting for.
Yeah, but it worked, but it was like a cheap like fan service moment that doesn't save the movie. It can't save the movie, really.
It should have been done earlier, like that kind of thing. Like at that point, they're finally giving us what we needed, but it was like far too late.
It's funny because I feel like that was they were like, hey, when the franchise is about dead, then we'll resort to.
Yeah, and we'll get into that when we do Saw 7. But I think there's a lot we can talk about of how and why they finally casted it the way they did. And I don't know if it was by necessity or that's actually what they planned on.
Yeah, probably the first part, but we'll see. All right, for our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli, I am the mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Thank you for checking us out, as always, for our Saw commentary. Go back and check out our other ones now that it's Halloween, and we will do Saw 3D, Saw the Final Chapter, Saw 7, I'm sure, next year. Follow us on Twitter, at BroForceSquad. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you find your podcast. If you type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words, and check out everything we've posted ever on our website, broforcesquad.com. Till next time, Ronnie, I just got flagged on the company card. You're trying to purchase 7 gallons of sulfuric acid.
Well, I was just seeing if you could, and you can, so I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Why
Don't
not?
worry about what I'm going to use it for. It's
better to
it's
have the acid and not need it than the other way around, right?
Yeah, of course. You don't know when you'll need it, guys.
There's been at least 5 times the past week I was like, damn, if only I had sulfuric acid.
God.